like that day. It's a nice culmination. It's almost like a rite of passage.
I've had a fair number of people come and ask me about my product. Each time I present it to them, I get more confident, so hopefully when the judges come, I'll have perfected the presentation and I can give them the best that I am able to.
I was like, oh, I just have to glue a few things onto the poster, but in reality I had to finish like a few pages of my website, and I had to get my script ready, and I had to do all this stuff that I didn't even realize I had to do. I printed out like all of these cards, so it really is like a lot more than I realized, and so I was definitely like a little bit stressed out, but it wasn't so much like that I wasn't really prepared or knowledgeable about my project. It was just putting it all together. So I definitely regret doing that because I'm really tired right now. So
this finished 3D printing 5 minutes before we had to leave. So you could say that was pretty last minute.
Having confidence in your project really helps during your presentation, so we can see how passionate you are about what you did and help us to understand better the process that took place.
It's been fun to educate people throughout like the whole process and stuff, and I think people are really impressed by my project, so I'm proud of it. I wasn't that stressed about the components of my project because they were all done, besides the smaller things like the posters and the video. The more stress was showing up and seeing how it would be, like how our space would be, talking to the judges and that kind of stuff. And just like everyone in our class has really good projects, so it's a little bit stressful seeing how you would fall in between.
Ultimately, at capstone level, I'm looking for integration of knowledge and skills. So really, they've utilized what they've learned through their courses and are applying that in a way that really demonstrates that they've got the skills, critical thinking skills, they've got the professionalism, so that they're able to present very well. I'd like to see that they've done some feasibility testing. So if they've got a design, that they've got an experiment, and they can explain how they use that experiment to test out the feasibility. I think a business plan is essential. It might not be an extremely mature business plan, but at least they've got that thought, that they've thought about it.
The first thing I'm going to address when the judges come is this board over here, what has all my data, because there's two facts. Is the 40% of children that are born to be able to experience divorce.
It should work because the coding is good. I mean, the design is, that's fine. Very close to being able to work. Unfortunately, it doesn't work today. If I had like one more weekend, it would be working.
There's a lot of things that I could do with the vest without increasing the cost at all, because the technology that I'm using is so versatile. So it is really exciting, all the different things that I could do with it. I think one great thing about my product is that in my business plan, I go a lot into that, and I recognize the current shortcomings, but I also discuss various ways to solve them. And those ways are, some of them are really easy, I just didn't do it because of time. Some of them are a little harder, but definitely possible. So I think it's really important to recognize your current shortcomings and then recognize what you can do to fix them. And I think that was one of the things that helped me with the other judge, because we talked about that a little bit.
So it's the process, I want to understand. Is there some sort of a stumbling block that they maybe came up against, and how did they deal with that? I always want the students to be thinking positively about what they've done, and it's really about process.
You really have transformed the original idea.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so it transformed from like, the credit card idea to, applying this test.
They leave that day almost to me like college students, They've done their thing, they've had this great journey, and they're just independent, confident, top of their game, and ready to head out.
Some of the students have created products that they really are passionate about, and that they really could take these products further than just Expo Fest, because they have a passion, they're interested in what they are doing, and there's a lot of allure to entrepreneurship. You get to be your own boss, you get to make the choices, you're not working for somebody else. And I think the process of doing a capstone project that is entrepreneurial could really motivate a lot of these students to continue working on these projects.
The college that I'm going to next year, Northeastern, they're ranked like 4th in the nation in entrepreneurship. So there are a ton of resources available to me. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it takes me.
My biggest goal is to have them leave this whole capstone process with learning that does have bearing on their real lives beyond school, beyond college. I think we do a pretty good job of that. It's what I'm most proud of, is when they leave here at the end of the year, I feel like they have essential skills, particularly in the areas of problem solving, critical thinking, communication skills, They're able to collaborate in many different settings, and I feel like they know themselves, they know their stumbling points, they know their joys and glories, and I feel like they leave here confident, self-aware, and ready to tackle the next phase.